right, well, welcome everybody to the Friday Night Lights. As always, thank you for being here. A couple things before we do get started. If you know someone who wants to play in a GM game, send them my way. I'd love to talk about either getting on the waitlist for a one-shot, or, waitlist for a campaign slot, or getting in on a one-shot. I will be announcing another one-shot tomorrow. I announced it on Patreon earlier today, but that one-shot is going to, well, actually, it won't be tomorrow. It'll be on Sunday. We'll be announcing that. But yeah, guys, send me a message if you're interested in playing with me. Otherwise, check out the GM tip videos, archives, and podcasts over on YouTube. If you do watch those, do hit the thumbs up. It does help me out a ton. We also have the clip contest going on, and the clip contest is going on, and the Patreon is over at patreon.com/GMEric. Let's go ahead and get you guys rolling, because we've got a lot of cover today. So much to cover. You guys are adventuring in the lands of Toivoa. Specifically, we are way out here in the southwestern area of Shatter Shaddai, where you guys have come seeking more information about a drow man who poisoned and imprisoned Neve Dorcatus and was siphoning her energy to fuel a temple of the god Cateus. To that end, you arrived here and discovered a bit of a mystery regarding Tyro's past. You've been sent on a quest to collect 3 different books by a shop owner, we'll call her, here at the Mystic Quill. You've collected the 3 books and have left the Grand Library of Shatter Shaddai in order to potentially return the books or deal with the aftermath of collecting them. As we begin the session, Zoya and Lucy have been granted inspiration.
Thank you. Oh.
So, as you have just left the Grand Library, what would you guys like to do? Where are we going?
My default is panic.
Valid?
Well, we were going to, let's see, this is a brand new day, right? We're all well rested up?
Yeah, you guys, you have not gotten a new day. You guys just got the 3rd book.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we need a new day. Yes?
That's
How's
up to you
everybody
guys.
feeling?
Resources.
I'm feeling PG King.
Yeah, I'm topped up. I have all my spell slots. I can summon Clara. I'm good.
I'm also good.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't technically done anything. We just went to the library, so I don't remember if Seeming was cast as a ritual or not.
Matilda looks around, and she's like, alright, we need to find some place to talk. That isn't very far from here. Like, an immediate place to talk. And she's kind of looking around for, like, a study room or private area where we're not going to be overheard.
There's an alleyway just over there.
If we're just outside of the library, we're also vaguely gestures to Lou's house in sight.
Yeah, like
Oh.
half a block from the house.
Oh, okay. Alright then.
I did.
Yes.
I did not realize that Lou's house was that close either.
I also did not realize that Lou's house was that close. We've
No
always
matter how
sort
many
of
times Eric-
hand-babied it.
No, Eric blatantly would say it's right there, and that's why we hand waved it, because it was like a handful of steps.
Yeah, have not been
mean-
paying attention. I've been staring at the bread people.
The bread,
Red
people.
people?
Yeah.
Geography means nothing to me. Just like numbers.
Well, actually, with a map.
Look, there is that really awesome bread shop between your house and here, and I wasn't paying attention.
You know, that's fair. That's probably why we bought the house in the first place.
It's valid.
I was gonna say, how many times has Lucy just like stuck her head out of the window? Something's just
Are you
starting to
role-playing
get
for her
interesting in
again?
the library.
Bro.
No.
Yeah.
I'm asking a question.
No, you're not. You're literally
No,
trying
fuck.
to ask
No, I'm
questions.
asking. Never mind.
All right, here we go. You guys return to Lucy's house.
Yes.
All right. So, As you arrive, you say the magic words.
Well, Zoya wanted to say them last time.
Zoya, do you say the magic words this time?
Yes. She's going to come up to the door, and in her short stature, she's gonna look up. Mommy's home.
The doors open.
It worked. Oh my god. It worked.
It sure
Zoya-
did.
Lucy's gonna clap her hands together and say, "That was amazing. Well
Thank
done."
you. Thank you. I know how to work my way into Lucy's house now.
And so we herd everyone inside as long as they're willing to do so.
Shuffle, shuffle.
Hecken is not looking at anyone and is going to go straight to her room.
No, Hecken, hey,
Hmm?
we need to talk. That means everybody needs to talk, and it needs to be a serious conversation, and I need you there, please.
Can I have 30 minutes to gather my thoughts?
Absolutely. We'll gather thoughts, meet back here 30 minutes.
Thank you.
She takes a deep breath, just... Okay. 30 minutes then. Whatever you're gonna do, take care of it, be back here. We need to have a team meeting. A serious one.
All right. Zoe goes into the kitchen, gets some fruit, then comes back and sits down.
Here?
Kier uses the toilet.
Grenek?
30 minutes? What'd you do, fall in?
Listen, what I do in the toilet is my business.
But you do your tax returns in there?
Yes!
Vernock.
Grenek?
I think I'll join Zoya in the making of a quick snack and then return to the couch.
Okay. Matilda, what do you spend 30 minutes doing?
Also, snack and a very large glass of water.
Okay. Lou?
Lou, because she's still kind of toting around the Necromicon, is holding it very tight to her chest, and she's like cooing at it while she sits on the couch. Ye olden, this was my favorite textbook times.
Okay. And Tyro?
Speed bag or punching bag in the gym.
Okay. Hecken, what do you do for 30 minutes in your room?
20 minutes of crying.
Okay.
5 minutes of thinking.
Valid.
And 5 minutes of writing.
All right. After 30 minutes, do you come out?
No, I will not be keeping track of time.
Okay. Matilda?
Mm-hmm.
30 minutes have passed.
All right. Matilda will be sitting in the, I guess, living room, sitting room. Yeah, probably in one of the couches.
Okay. You see Granek, and I assume Kier comes out of the bathroom after 30 minutes.
Hopefully sometime before, otherwise I ate something bad.
Okay. Lucy's here, Granek's here, Zoya's here. But Tyro and Hecken are missing Matilda.
Zoya looks up at Matilda. Do you want me to go find one of them?
You're reading my mind. If you could go grab them and bring them here.
Understood. I will be right back. And she hops up off of the couch and goes to try and find Hecken.
Just like,
Okay.
So, yeah. First
Just
place
Hecken
she's...
or
Huh?
just Hecken?
First Hecken, then Tyro.
Okay.
So, first place she's gonna check is the library.
Hecken is not there.
Next place she's gonna check is Hecken's room. She's gonna knock on the door.
Oh, okay. And the door's
doing
gonna
all
open,
right in there?
and I cannot come out. Oh,
Doing all right?
No, but we'll talk about it.
Do you want a hug?
Sure.
Okay. Zoya, since you're taller than her, she just hugs your leg and wraps her wings around you. It's alright. I'm sure we'll work it all out. At least, I hope so. I'm gonna go find Tyro since Matilda wants everyone here.
Thanks. I'll
Yeah.
make my way out.
And Zoya is going to check first at Tyro's room, not finding him there. She doesn't know where much else to check, so she's gonna look around for Rana, see if he knows.
You don't see Rana, but you hear someone in the gym.
She's gonna check in the gym.
What is Tyro doing in the gym?
Oh, he's just wailing on the bag. What's it look like with the 20 athletics check? I'm surprised it is, honestly.
He's letting out a significant amount of frustration.
Zoya's just gonna stand there until he cools down for a moment.
Oh, it's going to take a while.
I
You
see.
could-
Yeah,
he's been at it.
I see. Okay. So she's just gonna say from the doorway, "Hey Tyro, Matilda wants us all in the main room."
Is he here?
Like, where's this
He's
voice
not
coming
hearing you.
from?
You might have to be a bit more
You know
forceful.
what? Since he does not seem to hear the first time over the punching of the bag, she's going to cast the cantrip of message. Tyro, Matilda wants you in the main room.
Stops like mid kangaroo kick and like, what?
Hi.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah. Do you need a hug?
Sure. He looks down at his sweat form, like he's bare chested by now, but he's still pretty sweaty. Like, I don't know if you want to hug this.
Valid. Carry on.
Alright. Alright. Then he grabs his stuff and like still again, only in his pants and sandals, he's going to walk out and then plop himself on a couch.
Zoe's gonna sit down next to Granok.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. This is not a conversation I'm really looking forward to at all. I've actually been avoiding it for a really long time. But we need to have it because it's starting to impact the people around us. It's starting to impact our job. And it's starting to impose heavily on the people who have chosen to support us as a team. We need to all get on the same page, and it needs to happen today. And I don't care how we get there, whether we decide that our group has a de facto leader and leaders' decisions go, or we make a group decision and come to a consensus. But whatever the new guidelines for how this is going to work are going to be settled, it needs to be settled today, now, before we finish this job. Otherwise, we're going to get in there to the library, and we're all not going to be on the same page, and somebody is going to do something because it's important to them with their heart, and they're going to act on feelings, and we're all going to get killed. Or somebody else is going to get killed. And we'll have to bear the burden of that. So, I appreciate you all being willing to come and sit down and talk. So I want to hear everybody's opinions on our group, what kind of leadership style you think that we need, and we'll just move around the room. And she looks down at Zoya. Would you like to start?
I think I need to take a moment to process what you just said. I'm gonna pass it on to the next person.
Want me to say it in like one short sentence?
Yes, please.
We need to pick a leadership style, and we all need to get on the same page, and I want to hear your thoughts about that.
Thank you. That makes it a bit easier, but I still need to take a moment to think about it. I'm gonna let
Alright.
Granok speak.
Seeing as how he gets thrown under the bus.
I mean, dude, it's the running joke of the campaign, you know? You're our
Listen,
busboy.
That's why it was said as a joke.
Oh, whoops, sorry.
Anyways, he'll take a moment to ponder and kind of ends up with the thought of, for most decisions, it should be everyone's input always. But I'm also fine with having a battlefield structure of, in combat, having a dedicated shot caller for less heat of the battle decisions.
Lou?
Lou's gonna look up from the Necromicon and like rub her nose, kind of shrug, and say, I think a group consensus is generally the way to go as long as the entire group has a say. It's not very often your entire group has a say on something. A lot of them don't get to talk. As for me, pretty easy. I can be convinced. You know, I'm here to help you guys. That's my job.
That begs the question of, I know that you're helping us while we're here in Shatter Shaddai, and we really appreciate that. You've opened your home to us, you've opened your pocketbook to us, and you've been willing to share your knowledge and expertise of the city. But would coming with us after all this is done be something you might want to do?
I think that is a want for the day that you have to leave the city. I'll make that decision then. I like to travel.
Zoya's going to raise her hand.
Yeah, Zoya?
I would feel personally, and this is probably a selfish comment, but I personally would feel more comfortable if Lou decided whether or not they're going to be coming with us now, or because it'll give a sense of sort of solidity in the party. But that is a selfish comment, and I'm sorry.
I think it's
valid
understandable. Oh, sorry, Granok.
No, we spoke at the same time. Gernok will put his hand on her back and go, it's a valid point to at least bring up, and it's also large of you to admit that it is a bit selfish of it.
Her lower eyelids raise up in a smile because she does not have lips.
I think that Lucy would consider this and nod and say, I understand where you're coming from, and it's valid, but that's not a decision that I can make right now.
She nods.
Heckin will raise a hand.
Yeah? Heckin?
Lucy, are you aware that a lot of the time while we've been in Shaddai, you taking charge and making decisions and reacting to comments from the rest of the group with sarcasm might make I statements. I sometimes feel that when I have tried to have input on a group decision, you have reacted with sarcasm or taken charge of a situation in a way that makes me feel like trying to have contributions to that situation is not worth doing.
I apologize for that. I think I'm so used to living here and how everything works. That's my de facto setting. And I hadn't realized that that's how it was coming across. And Lucy does look a little remorseful. And
I'll take it.
She is trying very hard not to be like, but I do live here. She does understand the point.
Alright, Hacken is going to scrunch up the piece of paper that she was holding and sit on it.
Oh no, those paper? No, I want to know. Wait, what was that, Hacken?
Nope, Gernok will
I
just
no more intensifies.
Gernok will smile to himself with a little bit of amusement. It's like, that was the letter in case things went sour.
Resignation letter.
Somewhere in between.
Why did I just
Anyways,
think of
anyway.
Hacken's, like, crunching it into an egg shape and sitting on the egg paper?
All right, back in character. Tyronius.
He's just looking at her.
Don't pull that. I'd really like to hear your thoughts.
I don't have it. Look,
What do
I
you mean
know
you don't
I
have
popped
any?
just no. Hang on. I mean, ever since we popped in here, like, I thought that it was just a house of flowers after, and then turns out probably not. Because why would they make such a brazen attack on the actual consortium members? And then we go to the one place where the first person who was like me tells me it's a wonderful place, and I get this sense of grandeur, and I come here and I'm not wanted at all. In fact, I would probably be actively hunted. Then I come to find out, you know, all the stuff that we've found out and what I've done to myself. Who my can't really say father, but progenitor. And these memories I have, it's imagine trying to read 3 books, but all in a split second. And it's just, I don't know what to do. And so, in regards to the party, like, I've just gotten people in trouble, and this whole 3 books bullshit is because I opened my fucking mouth. I didn't realize that the City of Wonder would have a demon that was a shopkeeper. Yeah, hindsight's 2020. So I'm just going to do what I've not resigned. Sorry. I will trust the group. You know, if you need an opinion or if you need my set of skills, because I am the loud man. Like, heaven forfend if ever I'd actually learned how to properly negotiate. I feel like I'd be dangerous. But, you know, I will do whatever you guys do. I'm not saying, you know, I'll never speak up. But I also realize I'm not in a good headspace right now.
I appreciate your input, and I know it's hard to share.
He just looks at her like, Riley, it's like, really? Me sharing a problem?
Hi, Ro.
I'm saying that I overshare. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll do whatever you...
Sorry, we all talked at the same time.
I'll put my hand down when Matilda takes charge.
I thought Tyronius was finished, and she was kind of looking over to Kier, and then Tyro started again, so her attention snapped back.
Oh, what are you gonna say, Hacken?
you are sometimes open, but you're also sometimes very, very sarcastic. And it may be hard for some people to tell the difference.
Coping
Or to find the
mechanism.
truth within the sarcasm.
It's a coping mechanism. Like, yes,
So-
I know I
Zoya
myself
raises
down.
her-
Go for it.
So Zoya is raising her hand and waiting for her turn to speak.
Oh. Tony's just saying to Heckin's like, I know I make a lot of sarcastic comments, and he looks over at Lou. I'm glad I'm not the only one anymore. It's a bit of a zest to life, but and if I really don't want to interact with someone, or if I don't really like someone, I just don't interact with them. It's why would you waste your energy? Yeah. Anyway, what's up, little fluff? Oh, sorry, Heckin. Sorry, go.
Sorry, why I said that, it would really help me trust doing things to other people with you if I knew you were going to make an effort to listen to whoever we elect as a leader or decide on as a consensus mechanism.
Oh well.
Did you answer that question? Cool.
Yeah. If we choose a leader, I might need to get cracked over the head a few times, but I'll be aiming to follow the group leader. Out of character.
And,
Hush you. I said nothing.
Matilda looks over at Kier. Kier, your thoughts?
Well, my immediate thought is I'm pretty opposed to the idea of a de facto leader. Last time I gave somebody else power over my life like that, it didn't go great. That said, I think consensus is the way to go, but the idea of somebody who's like, and he holds his hands up as if weighing something, the initiative maker, I guess. We're a big group now, and sometimes we all just go off in our own directions at once, so having a spearhead wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
I liked that terminology. Spearhead.
Are we gonna give the de facto party leader a spear helmet now?
I don't think so.
I mean, if we do need to, we can get it at Charnellan's. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll back. He looks at Heckin. That wasn't disregarding it. It was.
Okay, so for me, I myself am okay with either having a de facto leader or coming to a consensus. What I'm hearing is that most people want to be heard. They want their opinions and viewpoints considered before we make any rash decisions in the heat of the moment. That said, once things do, go past the point of no return and we're stuck in the middle of combat or a battle, we need somebody who's capable of taking the reins and shot calling. Is that correct? Is that what I'm hearing?
Lucy's definitely gonna Lucy's gonna smile like this whole time. She's just been watching Matilda. And she kind of tilts her head and she's like, I think that should be you.
Hang on.
I disagree
Zoya,
for one reason.
Guys. Zoya wanted to say something as well. We did kind of let her.
Something that I wanted to bring up. I have noticed that mainly Tyro and Lucy have been treating me a little bit less like a person and more like a pet. I don't really appreciate that.
Tony's looks genuinely confused. What do you mean a pet?
this might be me personalizing it, and I very well acknowledge that. But the little nicknames and sort of dismissive comments that I get, and how easily I'm getting run over and talked over, literally and figuratively. I'd like to be treated a little more seriously and more like a person that is actually part of the party instead of just someone standing off to the side.
I mean, that's fair. I just didn't think that was like pet behavior. Like, again, if we're to shout, you know, come up, peck me in the ear or something, or slap me with, slap me in the face. Matilda grabs the horn every so often.
Chicken?
Tyra, and this probably goes for other people as well, as a soft-spoken individual, looks at her megaphone that she uses to get her spells heard in combat. That is good advice, and it's good to know that we can speak up and interrupt you when we want to. But sometimes other people are not as comfortable doing that as you are. And it would be great to hear whether you would also be making an effort to let people be heard by leaving them space or deliberately including them in things.
Oh yeah, I'm always trying to make space for you guys. I just, if I get excited, I just kind of, pop off. I've been used to being on my own before this, but yeah. But yeah, no, I'll try and make it. Yeah.
I appreciate it. I really do.
All right. So what are we doing?
Matilda,
the
as
de
you
facto
were.
leader?
Well, I appreciate the nomination, Lou. I'm not sure that I'm really the best for that, especially when we get into combat. I tend to be a little bit myopic. Like I focus on one thing, and battlefield control really isn't my specialty. I would much rather have somebody who is standing back a little bit further, who has a better view of the entire battlefield.
Zoya raises her hand slowly
and is able to get out commands that are timely and loud.
Zoya
Well-
lowers her hand.
Well, if I got an idea for that. Heckin. Sorry. Oh,
You
nearly
okay,
choked to death.
Tyronius?
Sorry, out of character. I nearly failed a con save against air.
Been there.
Yeah. Sorry.
But
Heckin,
every
that-
breath is in a roll.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Anyway, heckin', that's mental link thing. How long does that last again?
1 hour. It is a ritual spell.
Okay, and how much does it cost to cast it on the fly?
Out of character, a 5th level spell slot.
No.
that's
Like, okay.
expensive.
No, so,
I can do
Yeah,
that
I
twice
know
a day if we don't have 10 minutes to. Well,
Yeah.
Sorry, I could do a dress up party and a telepathic bond.
Yeah,
Dress
no.
up
Then I
party?
need to sleep. You people know it as seeming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What do you mean, you people? No, that's fair. No, I'm not asking you to give up a 5th level spell slot. I mean, Lord knows I've got just as much want to keep them as well. Like, I generally think that, like, if we know we're going into a fight, we probably or possibility of a fight, maybe we should have the group chat spell up beforehand, because most of our battles are like 10 minutes at most. Like Matilda, your fight with in the ring was 5 minutes at most or something, wasn't it?
I think we're getting a little off into the weeds.
No, the point is, I feel like if you want someone that can be surveillance, if Tekken has enough time, the optimal set up the group chat. Zoya can be a great reconnaissance, or like, watching stuff and just pointing out things. I have spells that are more focused towards crowd control, like you said. Like I've got slow.
If I might.
Yeah, and
I'm not saying that's not a great strategy that we should try and do whenever we can, but we're not going to be able to do that all the time. So.
Correct.
I will also point out that even having this lifeline does not stop having a dedicated person in battle, most specifically, would be useful for more than just that.
I would like somebody, ideally, who is a ranged combatant, who is decisive, who has a good grasp of strategy, and is calm under pressure. It can't be me, because I am too close to the enemy. There are things that I just can't see during the fights.
With that being said, gestures towards Hecken, who has her hand raised, and a point towards Kier. I believe these two would be the primary best candidates for it. Hecken, you can explain your own merit, of course.
I am not volunteering. I just wanted to say, we didn't get. I'm not sure we finished around the room of people's opinions on the leader. At least I probably interrupted other people too many times to get around to me. But I've only been with this party for a few weeks now, and I thought Matilda was the leader.
What?
She's the big. She's mum.
Like
points to Matilda. That's mom.
You don't need someone telling. You don't need someone telling you what to do, moment to moment. You guys fight like a almost well-oiled machine most of the time. You've killed amazing things in front of me, and with me.
I was gonna say we just.
When there's guidance needed, most of you turn to Matilda, and I have done that. Anyway, sorry. I thought she was your general leader. I hear what Matilda's saying about not wanting to be in the heat of battle, tactical decision maker.
Gurnock will have a nice grin on his face and kind of look over at her and go. I would mostly say for sure the party face and very much a warm presence for everyone. Makes it very easy to ask for advice and look up to.
Zoe raises her hand.
Kind of...
Yeah, Zoya.
Hecken proves a great point, honestly. Out of combat and in combat, you actually, maybe not mostly in combat, but out of combat, you are our representative leader. You are the one with the reputation, the one with the party face, most of the time. And I think Hecken's outside opinion peeking in is very valuable.
Matilda looks very awkward. Like, this is not something she anticipated when starting this meeting at all. That is flattering. You
Can I
probably
pitch in?
give me far too much credit. But,
Can I
yeah,
pitch in an
Tyro?
idea?
Yep, go ahead.
Looks right at the orc. Here.
Here,
Like,
looks like he has been trying to shrink as soon as this subject came up. Yeah, what's up?
you're the candidate. Number one, you've been with the party since even before I was here. Number two, you go both close and ranged, depending on where Clara is needed. In fact, we even joked, I think, out of character once that you could throw her if needed. You do have a level head, and you also said that you have bad experiences of being under the command of a singular person. So congratulations, I've put my vote for Kier to be the singular person who we give our loyalty to. And he's just got that grin on his face.
Kier has an expression that's probably very familiar to the party at this point that I would generously call resigned panic. And he'll look around at everyone else and say, does anybody else have thoughts on that?
Well,
Well,
Considering.
go ahead, Granok.
Oh, go ahead.
Alright, we got a line. Okay. Gernok will stand up and walk over to Kier, sit down and put an arm on his shoulder. Do you not remember the amethyst dragon with Gur?
Vividly.
That alone. I would follow and listen to you for anything with a level head and a heart willing to do anything for the party.
Yeah,
He actually blushes at that comment.
wasn't it the you know, didn't you get bitten by a huge creature and then went that all you got?
We all
Don't have
say
to bring
really
up that part.
stupid things dying.
Okay, he'll give you a pat on the shoulder and return to a seat next to Zoya, and just for her to go.
I was going to say something, but Granok made an excellent point. Tactically on the battlefield, there are times where, yes, you can make decisions that are needed in the moment, that need to be made. But for scouting and just overall battlefield observation, I think both of the flying individuals would be beneficial. So I think all of us could cover different aspects of the role needed. I'm sorry, I don't exactly know what I'm saying anymore. I lost my train of thought.
That's okay.
No worries. And
I think-
he'll
I
look
think-
to...
Oops, sorry. No, I've been flapping my gums like I'm about to take off.
Yeah, Matilda was next in line.
Ah. Well, everybody's being very courteous. Thank you. Kier, you are the smartest person I know. And, you are not as much of a coward as you think you are. I think you're way too hard on yourself. And I would absolutely 100% trust your input in the middle of a fight where our lives are on the line. If you tell me I need to go here, I will go here. No hesitation. I would happily follow you into a fight. And if you're not comfortable otherwise, I'm okay backing you up in situations that are social or uncomfortable. I'll be right behind you.
I mean, can I also say something like pretty serious too? Like, going back to the whole pirate, sailor, captain thing that you were like alluding to beforehand. Here, if you're the captain of this, ragtag bunch of misfits, you've always got your first mate to say, as a check. From what I've seen, secondhand at a glance, no pirate captain, no captain worth their salt, or any leader worth their salt, doesn't have a person to be like, hey, is this the right thing? Or, hey, I need a second opinion. So, you have my... looks at his side. Book?
Kier chuckles, and then we'll nod to Pekin and then Lou. Before I speak on the matter, I would like to hear everyone's thoughts on it.
Oh, I think here would meet almost all of the criteria that Matilda accurately identified for a combat leader. Can we hear a shout?
I mean, if you yank my tail hard enough.
From here? One of the criteria was loud.
Oh, I can project my voice. It's usually when I'm screaming, but that won't be a problem.
Most of the screaming's been, oh no! Hasn't it?
Pekin will finally crack a smile, or a big smile, whatever.
Can birds smile?
Yes, they can.
Yes, they can.
I have cockatiels. Yes, they can.
All right.
All right, and Lou, he'll look at next if Hacken's finished.
So that was my thoughts on Kia. I also want to say there's one person in the room who meets all the criteria that I would probably be okay with following in battle. Looks at Lou. Smart, has an overall view of the fight. Loud. Yeah. But yeah, I think in terms of seniority, maybe Kia. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
Are you?
Lou?
Lou's gonna chuckle. And before she turns to Kier, she's gonna turn to Hecken and say, I respect that you put me out there because I know we haven't always seen eye to eye, all things considered. So thank you for that. But upon learning this new fun fact that Kier used to be a pirate, a lot of things make sense now.
Oh, shit,
And-
you know I was a pirate.
Please.
He says that
You
out
always
loud,
go-
by the way.
And
That's all right.
she winks at Kier and she's like, super hot. I think I'd vote for you too. Now that everyone's
So-
laid out their pros and cons.
Also, just quickly, Kier. Heck, did you know Kier was a pirate?
Yes.
Okay, right. Just wanted to double check.
Yeah, sorry, Owen ran to get a coffee after speaking.
Ah.
My bad.
Good play, good play. I approve after also just sitting down with my cup of coffee. Let's go.
Priorities in order.
Priority.
Hacken's just like, mic drop, go.
Yes,
All right.
I've heard tales of Kier's captain, and I've put two and two together.
Do what you want, because I pirate.
Also, the number of times he said I was a pirate literally out loud in front of me. I did.
Your heart
Get that.
ended.
Your
Listen,
heart's
events get
really-
tangled. I don't blame him
I
for
was-
asking.
I was frozen today.
Yes, thank you for asking.
All right.
That was very considerate.
No, I realized like we've had a few changes and such, and yeah, as I said, be mindful. We'll see how long it fucking lasts, but
All right, so now that he's heard everybody, Kier will stand up and look at the room and say, "You are putting your faith and your trust in an ex-criminal. My prized creation is literally an evil book I stole from my previous captain, and Well, if you're okay with that, if all of you are okay with that, I suppose. And he crosses his arms and says, and it's clear since this subject came up, he felt people's eyes drifting to him as Matilda outlaid the qualifications. And finally says, then I'll accept and endeavor to reward the faith you've put in me.
What
The
Perfect.
Congratulations, Captain.
Lou is gonna raise a hand.
Oh, okay.
Lou?
She will raise her hand, but she will hold her comment because she heard Zoya start to say something.
All right. Zoya?
Kier, I think that you and I have been adventuring for far too long for me to care that you're an ex-criminal, ex-pirate, ex-whatever the heck you were. You're my party member, and you're my friend. Okay? I trust you.
He gives a fragile little smile. Thank you.
You'll be a great leader, Kia. I mean, I'm still an actual criminal for something I didn't even remember doing before your grandfather was born. Well, I do remember doing it. Fuck. Thanks again, Heckin. And I mean that, like, yeah, I'm gonna have to come to terms with that. Shit.
Lou?
You've got time. Go ahead, Lou.
Oh. Lou looks over at Zoya and gives her a thumbs up and say, I couldn't have said it better myself. I was gonna say that he can probably still use your support up in the air. Because you're really good. I can't see you half the time in a fight.
Her iridescent eyes sort of swirl, and she closes her eyes. Thank you.
Now tell me more about this evil book.
No.
Wait, no.
Out of character question, like, seriously, sorry to bowl over. Has Kia told us about the
Yes.
book before?
Many
Okay,
times.
right.
It
We were all there.
It first came up when I think when you did the scrying with
Scrolling back up in
Luminostra.
notes.
Luminostra, yeah, with Lumi.
It was like around the time. Wasn't it around the time we did the crossover with the Us Against the Gods?
About 2 weeks before that.
Yeah. I think that
around
was
that
actually
time.
the inciting incident, but I wouldn't trust my
Yeah.
memory in that regard.
No, I was
hear
the
you.
inciting incident.
Ah, you were the inciting incident. Excellent.
Was it me for one? Anyway.
But back in character, Kier flinches at Lou's response to that. I don't suppose you'd accept you're probably better off not knowing the details?
She will pout, but say
Mhm.
acceptable. I forgot that I have a more important question anyway.
And what would that be?
And she's gonna turn and look at Tyro and say,
Uh-oh.
what was your connection to this Rakshasa and why did we make a deal with her again?
So now or 60 years in the past?
Yes.
But damn it. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Eric. How do I?
You go ahead. This is on you.
Okay. Wait. Do you mean this is on me?
Have
As in
fun.
I'm making. Pardon?
Have fun.
Uh-oh. This is my Granach moment.
Here's where all of that speculative out of character story building comes in handy. Do it to yourself. Go.
Yes.
Oh, I've got an idea.
How many pages of notes do you have?
Go. What's the story
All right.
between you and the proprietor of the Mystic Quill?
So. All right. Okay. Hang on. He's just rocking his brain. It's like. So. When I first wanted to get into the school, Like they didn't. They took, but like again, they took in almost anybody. But you know, I tried to enter, and Rafaj being, you know, my father. Rafaj does not give you any sort of nepotistic is it? No.
Mm-hmm.
Does not, yeah, nepotistic benefits. In fact, if anything, it was more. I think it's a memory of when I was like 2 or 3, and he had me trying to read on a scroll magic runes. Most kids that age can't even read the alphabet, depending on age. So I was getting no assistance, and it was like, hey, if you want to get into this, you got to do it on your own damn feet. So I decided to, you know, I was picking up some just reagents and items to try and do my own, like, you know, study. Because at least he gave me like a small apartment to live in or something, or else it's there. And I go, and I'm like, and I was just again talking to myself as I go through any magic shop, and the store owner, like, who turns out to be Rakshasa, says she is willing to help me get into it, and I'm like, why? Like, I am a weird. But then she looks at me and says, well, you're not like the others, and he gestures to his, you know, physical form. It's not the first time I've heard those words, and wouldn't be the last from that point on. And so she gave me 3 books to give to the library as a donation. There was the Way to Self-Confidence and Magic for Dummies, which I think was just personal, but the big one was, and she, like, I remember holding, she brought it over and she said, let's call it an investment, don't know why, and said, why don't you bring them this and see if it will help. He motions to the book, and it was the Necronomicon. She said that this will help me go many places, or at least get the leg up. What I do when I'm in there is my own choice. And apparently what I did was book it the fuck out without the books. So I didn't really book it, I just the fucked out. So yes, that book does belong to her. I don't know how she got it. And I didn't realize that it had become the core studies for other stuff. So yeah, she wanted an investment, and investing in the Black and Gold Dragon kind of went south. So, and he's looking around. Yeah, I kind of do need to return it to her. It's just that after the library the Grand Library does sort of claim things for itself quite often, because, you know, people have a habit of dying, and if people don't have a next of kin that they nominate, they go, cool, free school supplies.
Okay, well, was it something to help you get in, or was it a donation? Because you said 2 different things.
Okay, no.
Because if you donate something to some place, you don't expect to get it back.
Right, and that's the kicker. Fuck, out of character, bugger!
You caught him. Butthole.
Yep. I am not the right Ikea, help me! No, I'm kidding.
No.
Someone clip that, put that in the contest.
Not even Tyr can save you now.
I think it was meant borrowed to me, if I think about it now. but I kind of got overwhelmed, and they said, "Oh, are you donating this to the school?" And I said, "Yes." So, and he looks at Lou. Once again, my big mouth got me into trouble.
He shrugs and does not appear to look surprised in the slightest.
Mm-hmm. That makes 2 of us. So, does that answer the question?
What
you
was the
remember
No, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Do you maybe remember which one it was exactly? Did she give it to you as a donation for the library, or as as a loan for you to show off?
Loan
And
This is where I'm
help
going
you get
to ask an insight check from Tyro, thinking back on the situation.
Yeah, after he does that,
Yes, sir.
there was a lot of words in there, and just I don't know. I got lost in the sauce, I guess. Can we get 20 words or less of what was actually just said in that
TLDR,
speech there?
Rakshasa gave him books because she thought he was going to be beneficial to her, and he took them and never returned them.
So he
And
borrowed books from her, and the school took them from him as quote unquote a donation.
acquisition due to abandonment within the school.
Yeah.
Got it. So
'Cause,
they lay claim over the law. Got it.
Correct. Finders keepers, losers weepers. So
Right,
with
and I
a
rolled a
19, Tyro, these books were given to you to deliver into the library as plants.
I knew it.
I knew she was playing him.
Tyro,
What?
you have just withdrawn the objects that she was using to scry within the library for the past 60 years.
And now she's
Wanting them
going
back so she can collect all the information that is stored, hidden in the magics of these books.
Tonius is going to voice this and just rub his head like, ah, crap.
What's wrong, Tyro?
When you can have 2 methods of scrying: actively peeking through a window, or a radar that is just collecting stuff and it puts it down. And this is something that the proprietor of the Mystic Quill has used as a plant. And again, I was young, I was stupid, I am old, and I'm still stupid.
To be fair, you were kind of re-younged.
That was what? You cut out for me.
You were kind of re-younged.
Yeah.
He wasn't even re-younged if you think about it. He didn't age for 60 years, essentially. He
Yeah,
time
and that's-
skipped.
So
That's
stasis.
something. That's
Yeah, he was
something I wanna
stasis.
ask. Yeah, that's something I want to ask. Like we saw, we saw Velmara. She's, getting on. She's like physically has aged. Just looks at himself. I don't know if I'm about to drop dead tomorrow. Don't get your hopes up. Points at Lou.
Do you know many Dragonborns and how they look as they age?
Nope. I know 1 off the top of my head. No, 2
Two.
off the top of my head. We have Losen Bolus, who is the first one that I met, and
Oh, sorry.
Oh, and then
Dragons. So you go.
and then there's Luther. Was it Luther, the
Correct.
merchant in Nausha? Yes, and Luther, the dragon.
I know of 4. Actually, yeah, 4 others that are not Tyro.
Who are they?
Let's go.
So you've got 2 of them, Luther and. Gosh, I
Losen.
just said Losen. Yes, thank you.
Come on, take the opportunity.
Yeah.
Eric
So
ruined
you-
that word. Thank you.
So we've got Losen, and then we've got Luther. And then there were 2 others on the island right before we raided Sugeos' island. I don't know their names, but they were both white dragonborn, I think. One of them was really wide, I think. And
You fat what?
You guys
No.
are familiar with Iceberg and Snowflake Sparkle.
I don't know their names.
am.
Though.
Yes, because you guys went to the Knuckle Dusters and were hazed by them. In like
Wait, this
episode
might have been
8.
Oh my god, Zoya
This-
wouldn't remember that.
It's
was
also
before
before
I joined.
Grenog's time, so I cannot confirm or deny anything. Throx, he has different sets of notes that I'm not
Correct.
allowed to access.
I
Right,
can
and
confirm vibes. The vibes sound correct.
Yeah.
All right.
And Tyronius doesn't know them, but okay. Yeah. So, I don't know, how old did they look?
Sorry. My point was not to do a scientific study of all the Dragonborn you've seen and figure out how. You haven't seen hundreds or thousands of Dragonborn in your life, like you might have humans or elves or orcs. And also in all the stories, dragons are either old or young. Like, you might be young for 150 years and then wake up one day and think, oh shit, I've got grey horns, or whatever the equivalent is.
Blue flower, red thorns. Blue flower, red thorns.
Wait,
Um,
okay, out of character. I just
I
got to
think
get
we
this
just
off.
established some canon.
Wait,
Oh my
no,
God.
question.
Let's go.
No.
Tyronius is a metallic dragonborn. Do his horns rust in old age?
No, they would
Like, do
turn
they-
silver.
Eyes.
They would turn silver.
Sorry,
That
I
was
was
something
dragons
that-
get that cool copper oxidization effect.
Yeah.
Like it's in the copper
That'd be so
dragonborn.
cool. You got the bronze horns that slowly turn silver.
Or green.
Oh, look how old he is. He's got the patina on him, or whatever it's called.
The patina.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. All right, go ahead,
Patina.
Heckin.
Yeah.
I wouldn't stress. I wouldn't assume that you've been through a time freeze type situation when there's possibly a simpler explanation that maybe it's in your nature to not show signs of aging as much as the rest of us. I mean, we've all met elves.
Okay, oh, hang on a second. There is one way to test it, and he's like got a silly grin on his face. Stands up. All right, this is the perfect way to make sure that you can test how old someone is. He's going to squat down. Do I hear any clicking from my knees?
No, and you also didn't make the dad noise when you stood up.
Ooh,
Damn it!
Oh,
Billy
damn.
young.
Confirmed.
Still too young.
He doesn't have back
And that's
problems. He's a
why-
phony.
Yeah, that's why you're not a party parent.
Oh, okay. And he just flops
Sorry,
back.
just trying to stop before we
No,
assume
no.
that there was any more magic than just the. Maybe there was, but the
I
memory
mean-
removal. You lost 60 years. You felt younger because you didn't have the weight of 60 years on you.
Yeah, but there's also the fact that those books could still be scrying on us now.
Now? Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
So
but
they've heard
so
all
Does
of
it
this.
matter
Data.
if he has to get the books back in order to get the information out of it? It's just a recording device.
I
Right?
mean, he's. I got an idea, and this is a stupid idea, but I need to voice it. I need to.
I'm gonna raise my
All
hand
right.
for after your stupid thought. Or unstupid thought.
Thank
the way
you.
they or no.
Noted, Grenek.
Um,
Go ahead, Tyro, quick.
Dispel magic on the book.
Are you declaring you're doing that, or are you asking the
No,
question?
no. I could dispel magic on or try to. You know, she's a demon entity. It could be well above my pay grade, or current pay grade. I used to. Oh, that's so. You ever read a book the first time?
Tyro,
And then
you're in
you
the
read it
weeds.
Sorry. Anyway, point is that I might be able to dispel it, but we also would definitely incur the wrath.
Well, let's table whether or not we dispel it for now. First, we'll want to decide what we want to do about this. But for now, do some detect magic on it, just to see what kind of cursory information you have, and then he will gesture to Granok.
I was more. Mine wasn't an in-character thing. I was gonna ask. I was gonna roll, arcane or
Mhm.
Yeah, I was gonna roll on the book, and
Okay.
see if we couldn't figure out. If we can figure out exactly what it
Sure.
is detecting
Can I-
from
Let's find out.
Arcane.
Go ahead,
Can I
Grenek.
give him assistance?
Well,
I am voice-
for the record,
I-
he said this was out of character, so Tyro doesn't
Yeah.
know he's doing it, so no.
Okay, cool.
You know, I specified just for that reason that this is
Okay.
just a mental thought.
Sure, let's go ahead and see.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunately, Granak, you are unaware of how this might work.
It rolled off the off the side of the thing. It was supposed to be an 18 and it went to a 2.
You've got inspiration.
I'm not inspiring on it. It was a casual brain thought.
Fair enough.
But that's what Granak do.
But that's not where I use inspirations.
No,
Those are the
that's
answers
fine.
I really want.
That's fine.
But-
no, we're not going to
Alright,
pressure anybody.
No. Lou's got a point.
Lou?
Oh, Lou is hugging this book like a mother would hug their child in the face of a crime. And she's gonna ask, "Can't we take it back to Master Kale and see if he can't take the stuff off of it?"
Well,
Could work.
if I might, as someone who's just recently been elected spearhead,
Shoehorned.
I was elected. It was consensual.
You're the light bearer.
Before
Friday
we
Night Light
decide how we're doing things with the book, we should decide what we're doing with the book. Because suddenly it's not as cut and dry, it's just give it to the cat and run away.
Lou, did you say? Sorry, while I was, I think I could still hear through the tears. You mentioned something earlier about, maybe it would be quite like you would be in trouble if you didn't take the book.
I would be in
Would you-
trouble if we didn't get the book back to Master Kale. This is a cornerstone of a lot of the things that we studied under him.
All right, important qualifying question, Lou, and I'm not trying to be an ass when I say this, but are we talking like actual trouble or rich people stuff can make it go away trouble?
Well, you remember what happened to Karthus?
That's a good point. Okay. Just getting context.
I do think we should take it to Master Cowie, though. You've got a very good point. I was either going to suggest that or Fire Guy, for lack of a better term.
Isn't
Me?
he?
Yes. Do we want to talk about this in front of the book?
I'm going to
Well, I
cast
mean-
telepathic bond as a ritual.
Very well. Telepathic bond goes up.
I was going to say, if Heckin starts doing that, oh, are you doing it at the 5th level? You know, you just said ritual. If Heckin
It will
starts,
take 10 minutes.
All right, I'm going to do detect magic to actually see the books that we've got.
All right. Recess while the ritual's going on. Everybody take 10.
Scribe session.
Well, while that's happening, I do want to make sure that everyone is still aware that we do have, I mean, as important as this is, because it is very important, she looks directly at Tyro to kind of hammer home, this is very important.
I'm
But,
paying attention.
I know, you're doing your spell casting. But we
Mhm.
also do have a primary job here, and this fiasco with these books is a secondary objective. The longer that we wait to take care of this primary objective, the further away from us and less likely we are to go to find our target and complete the job, which is the whole reason we're even here, and it's the reason that Lou was so generous to open her home to us. We
Oh, yeah,
owe
I
it
still wanna
to
guide.
you're casting a spell, you're not talking. We owe it to Neve and we owe it to Lou to get this job done as our first priority, not as an afterthought once the book is taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Very correct. But at the same time, we did just at the same time as collecting the book acquire the means into which we can now access our dear friend that we are searching for.
True. I just wanted to make sure that we don't forget our main job while we are emotionally caught up in this and deciding what we want to do.
Thumbs up. That all also being said, a small turn back to the books. do we also still want to attempt to find Karthus's house for the final page of the book?
I would.
mean, oh,
Hmm.
Kier, so sorry.
I think before we do anything regarding the book, we need to decide what we're doing in regards to the book, right? And he scrunches up his face and he says, "I'm trying to be vague about this because of the scrying. I'm sorry."
We can bring up the specifics of it and loop to another quick topic while this happens, or just hand wave and go to the telepathic bond part.
Yeah,
So.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Mhm.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, okay.
Zoya sounded like
Good,
you had
Zoya?
something you wanted to say before the hand wave.
So if we're gonna be waiting until then, I would like to clarify what people's specific roles are in the party, because now Kier has the role of combat coordinator combat coordinator. Matilda is the party face outside of combat. What are everybody else's roles? I just want to make sure I'm understanding everything properly.
Well, to my understanding, and he will gesture to everyone he speaks of in turn, Zoya, you're our scout, both in and out of combat. You can get anywhere, basically, without being seen. It's incredibly valuable. Also, I think you can see why kids love Cinnamon Toast Crunch, which kind of compounds on
What?
that.
What
Yeah,
is
let's-
cinnamon
don't-
toast? What is cinnamon toast crunch?
Just wait that
It
comment
was-
off. Just
He's
wait that
too
comment off and
young.
continue.
No, no, this
was-
is
it-
in character now.
It was an old orcish recipe. Don't worry about it. Um,
Oh,
Greenock,
I'd love to try it sometime.
I'll try and get the recipe from my father. Anyway, Greenock is our.
Beautiful.
Oh goodness! All right,
Give me a
Nice.
second. Give me a second.
all right. Can I roll a history?
She's dying.
Greenock's not helping.
I didn't do nothing.
No, I want to know if he actually can.
All right, Granak. Yes, you can roll history.
Inspiration it.
No.
I don't need it. I don't need it.
Granak, you do know how to make orcish cinnamon toast crunch.
No.
Oh my god.
I know what I'm
no.
doing when we're done talking here.
Hell yeah!
Yay, comfort food.
This, I
What have we done?
don't know what I expected.
For the record, Granak, it does require orcish cinnamon that has to be harvested from the depths of Corlin.
Damn.
I mean, how hard could that be to get?
You remember
Anyway.
your sister?
Greenock has
Yeah.
just demonstrated one of his primary roles within the party. He's our record keeper. And also our... And Kira will tilt his head from side to side. We're gonna call it the problem solver. We point him at a problem and he smites it. I guess Zoya kind of also falls into that category. You two focus firing is horrifying. Glad you're my friends.
Horrifying in a good way.
Yeah,
Okay.
Low five to Zoya.
Then he will gesture to Matilda. Matilda's the moral compass and frankly, the bedrock. She keeps us all grounded, both emotionally and in combat. So long as Matilda's standing, we can win. That's just how it goes. Hecken has become our What would you call a debuff machine in combat?
I mean, I feel like Heckin is also a good moral compass and an outside opinion.
Oh, you can just call me Hecken, though.
Heckin's also our negotiator. Matilda
Yeah.
might be the forward face, but when conversation needs elbow grease, that's where Heckin's strongest. Tyro is the toolbox caster and the explosives expert.
Heavy demolitions guy.
Out of character. Just suddenly developed a Scottish accent like TF2 demo expert, and we have the alcoholism already.
I didn't know you were alcohol. I didn't know Tyronius was an alcoholic. Anyway,
No, he's a lightweight.
Yeah,
you could be
I like
lightweight
alcohol.
and an
Alcohol doesn't
alcoholic.
like me.
We're in the weeds.
Yep. I'm sorry, I just read Lou's comments, and I think in character Kira would have just blustered right over it. So, and then he will finally arrive at Lou. Lou, as far as in combat goes, I think you're still finding your place here, but you've definitely got a lot of power there to work with. And as far as out of combat roles, and he blushes and looks to the side. She's kind of been the sugar mommy.
Batman.
We'll call her. We'll call her the requisitions officer.
All right. I'm going to assume I know what that means.
I like patron better.
Patron's also good.
In combat, I just make it so whatever Matilda or anybody hits gets hits harder.
So you're the gear the third gear of the triple threat. That thing needs to die.
Her and Heckin are very closely tied and like do a little song and dance together to get shit to die.
They're both out of character. They're both offensive supports, but they do it in vastly different ways. It's actually kind of great how they work together.
Same goal, different spells, stack multipliers, die.
And this conversation's been about an in-character 10 minutes, so we
it's been like 3 fights we've had together.
Yeah.
Over the voice line. Just a point of order. Patrons usually aren't the ones getting their hands dirty and doing the work. You're more than a patron. You're a team member.
Aww.
Agreed.
For now, at least.
I'm just saying she's been funding us for a while
Up to you.
now.
Up to you.
Lucy makes a little Korean hand symbol for the little K-pop heart at Heckin.
What are you taking as a threat?
Yeah.
Like, I was wondering, like, is that the one where it looks like a face hugger, or is the one where you actually use your hand?
No, it's
Can I roll in? Can I try to identify what spell that is the somatic component for?
She's throwing up gang signs. Get her!
It's the index finger and thumb where they're crossed
Yeah,
over
yeah.
each other.
It forms a little heart. It's the GIF in the chat. It's the Jimin. It's the BTS little heart.
This. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, it's like you cross your thumb and your index finger to
Like
make
just
like the little top of the heart, and then you kiss it.
Yeah.
It's like
The GIF is
like
in
you-
Discord. We are in the weeds a bit again.
By the way, what's the Detect Magic show for the book?
Yeah, let's get that out of the way first, because it technically happens at the same time.
Experience goes blind again. You shot.
So, are you casting detect magic?
Yeah, he was. He was casting.
I was ritual.
Sorry,
They are magical. For
Yes,
divination.
they are magical.
divination. Okay, so they
Yep.
do.
Divination magic on all of them.
It does mean it can probably be dispelled, which is important. So, the first point of order, we're going to tackle this by bullet points for decision making. And the first one is, and I think I know the answer, but we're going to do this by consensus. what do we do with the book?
I mean, mind if I go first? Just get it out of the way.
Sure.
This is not going to be the popular opinion. I mean, if we give it to her, the school's like secrets for the last 60 years are going to be exposed. Just hear me out, Lou. Hear me out.
Keep going.
But last I remembered, and he's looking at Matilda specifically, y'all don't like that school. So, yeah.
Right? Point of order.
I mean-
What do the moral compass eye have to say about that? And he'll mentally ping Hecken and Matilda.
Matilda will gesture at Hecken to go first.
I did want to bring this up, but that's kind of why it threw me so much when you all were so willing to throw young Mr. Potter to the wolves today. Oh, it feels like a long time.
Last week.
Like we've been, I know there are still at least 2 members of the party who have strong connections to the school and maybe believe in its goals. But that school's been nothing but a piece of shit to us and to our friend. Or to one of our friends. So yeah, the more we can mess with its operation, the better. Unless the Rakshasha's going to use it to, murder 1,000 people randomly on the street.
I mean, that'd be too easy for her. She probably uses it blackmail, to get all of the gossip on the students and such.
That's just conjecture. The point is, we don't know what she'll do with it specifically.
But also, it does put it's going to hurt Lou to give the book back, and that's probably more important at this stage.
Alright. Matilda, and then we'll get Lou's take on it.
Okay, Hecken, first off, I agree with you, really. I'm not a big fan of the school, and she holds up a hand knowing that this is going to rile Lou up. This is just hear me out, okay? No institution of education, in my opinion, should have a death count as high as that library has. Their callous disregard for life and safety of their students is horrifying. And it makes me seriously doubt the caliber and character of the mages that graduate. And she's gonna own that. That's what she's gonna say. That said, I'm not really willing to jeopardize our primary mission for the sake of a moral or ethical revolution or protest. Now, after we get our primary job done, then we can make foolish decisions about attacking the library and expressing ourselves and joining hands with the moose chucks, as it were.
I was originally... Sorry, go ahead.
But the reason that I didn't protest very much, or as much as maybe you wanted me to, Hecken, when turning over the student to the library is, for one, I'm trying to make as few waves as possible when we're in there. It's not smart of us to be as visible as we've been. And getting into a fight in the middle of the library would have been even more detrimental. So at that point, my hands were tied. If I had the chance to do it again, I probably would have just held on to him a little bit tighter so he didn't get away, so that feelings didn't, excitement didn't take over, people didn't get frustrated. I would have communicated more and been more open about the way that I feel about the library's practices and policies. That's a failing on my part, and I'm sorry. And I'm sorry that it caused you to lose trust in the group and our ultimate goals. But, yeah, that's all I have to say on that.
I'm sorry to everyone. I broke character in the middle of a dangerous mission. It may not have felt like it because it was a walk through a library, the most peaceful place on earth. But we were in danger, and I did not keep up the appearance of Lady Freebird, or our vital line of communication, putting everyone's life at risk, especially Kiz's alter ego.
That's fine.
I'm not sure.
Good heckin'.
Did you have more to say, Hacken?
If you want, I can just, for the rest of the time here, I can just stay here and cast the seeming on you every day and not put you in any more risk.
That is pretty far from what we want, Hacken.
That's the opposite of what we want. We not only want, but need you with us.
Gernok will stand up and approach Hecken, place hand on shoulder, even though we got the mentoring, just to add that little extra level of personalness, and then say, thank you for admitting the, we won't call it a fault, but the drop of the spell. I know that must have been hard for you to admit, even if it was just amongst us. But, we would very much appreciate you still continuing on with us. All bodies and all eyes matter. We have our hardships, and we are still learning how to be with each other, especially with gestures to Lou. Having a new friend along with us for intense missions that require more than just hitting something over the head.
And if I can be frank, if we started benching people because they had an emotional outburst, no one in this party would be doing anything.
Yep.
Hacken will turn around, bury her face in a pillow, and raise a single thumb talon up to the party.
Aw, need a hug.
I'll kind of give the
thumbs
shoulder.
down.
I'll kind of give the shoulder rub of, we're here for you, buddy, and then return to my seat.
All right, Lou, I'd like your thoughts next.
Lucy is going to kind of look around and first settle on Matilda. The school's not meant to be easy. It's not meant to be something taken lightly. You saw the hoops we had to jump through just to get you in. We had to grease some wheels, get approvals from 3 different people, and I had to pick people that would give it to me, no questions asked. The people who go into this school do so knowing the risk of it, but knowing how much the reward will mean to them when it's done. For me, and she's gonna look at Hecken, to see a student in there that had no business being there, he wasn't ready, to have him happily stealing and selling through illicit means instead of working in a way that he should have was insulting to me. And I know that it's difficult to hear me say that he should be punished, but realistically, to save his life, he should be expelled. Or at least he needs to take a leave. If someone were to steal your armor, Matilda, to pawn it because they desperately needed it, if someone was to steal your book, Heckin, to pawn it because they needed the money to afford tuition, would you be so kind? Would you be so willing to forgive?
Yes.
And Lucy's gonna shrug and say, I wouldn't. And that's my flaw. But I know the work that it takes. And it's not easy. It is not a place to go just for fun. Hyro himself was the cause of 2 deaths. Not on purpose. But that's the risk of the school.
But why does it have to be that way? You're assuming, you're begging the question. Why should a school require that experiment chambers be placed next to each other so that if an explosion happens in one, it kills 2 people in the next one? That's just cost cutting. They're charging 100,000 gold to get in, and they can't separate. I hear you, Tara. I'm deliberately talking over you. They can't even spend a little bit of that to put in some basic safety measures. They want people to die, whether not. It's probably not the thing they talk about. They probably say, oh, well, we can't afford to protect students from their own errors, or they'll, they won't become good, strong, brave wizards. But that's bullshit. And that's my thoughts on it. Tyra, go ahead.
The reason that they had, first off, the experimental chambers they had where I caused collateral damage, that was before they reinvented they redid the experimental chamber. Remember, we went through the experimental chambers, which was mostly used for necromancy, which
and it fucking set off a black hole that almost killed Zoya. They haven't done enough. Continue.
No, that's valid.
Yeah, Zoya's gonna tuck her wings in at that.
The school, so the reason that they did that was, I think, through me or a couple of instances like me. So it's not like the school does not care. But day one, when you get the orientation when I was first coming here, like ages ago, they straight up told you, this place is not a safe haven. This is a place for the world of magic in every form. They taught you all 8 schools and beyond, and when you get to the higher levels, the higher tiers of magic, it gets honestly scary. You could see, I remember, you remember demonstrations and stuff, especially in the experimental chambers, where if someone was to do this in front of, say, just a regular peasant, they'd be worshipped as a deity. The stuff, the exact spell that I was trying to cast was a simulacrum, and that is basically making a copy of yourself, giving something life. It's not perfect one-to-one like the divine magics can, but that's still something that is dangerous. There's the level, if I manage to live until I can get that good again, magic is not safe. The weave is a roiling tempest that you have to be careful with. And that's what the school tries to tell you. It's listen, we will facilitate every chance to get you to be great, because the school loves pumping out powerful mages. But to be fair, and I'm not saying this as looking down upon everybody, everything else seems rather tame. And he's going to look from one person to the other. Matilda, you were an athlete before this. That's, what's the worst thing that could happen? You tear your ACL and you don't ever run again. Big whoop. Hecken, you have a party, and I don't know what you came from, but if you're just a journal writer, you get you don't ever make it as a successful author, and your dreams aren't fulfilled. There's no real backlash from that. Turns to Kia. You've had to deal with gods know what on the open ocean. He goes to Zoya. Zoya, you okay?
I'm going
seen
to
it in
let
the
you.
chat.
I'm going to let you finish your rant.
Sorry. Yeah, I'll wrap it up quickly.
No,
Zoya,
just do it.
Zoya's been part of the Feywild. I do not want to ever touch that. That is, no. Granted, and so the point is that this school is dangerous because the ceiling of what you can do is so damned high.
How much effort would it have taken to have an instruction sheet for the experimental chamber provided to the student before sending them in there? How impossible is that with the complexities of the weave? In a language the undead are not going to be able to read, so no risk to the undead escaping. How far can your magic is dangerous go when basic safety protections and instructions are not given to the students in an attempt to weed out the weak ones?
No, that's very true.
By killing them.
Fair point. All right. I'm sorry if it meant like I was actually trying to defend the school, but
it makes sense.
Yeah. Part of the thing with this again is with Flu, and that's one reason I took him to Velmara. I could have taken, him to anyone else. I did take him to the person he wronged first, as I feel like that would be what anybody wants to do. It's like, hey, this person stole from you. The woman didn't care, so I went, cool. Go to Velmara. Velmara already dealt with him once. She's got much better of a head on her shoulders and the ability to help him, or say, hey, let's get you in summer school before you do this shit. Okay? As I said, that kid is me. He didn't kill people, but,
So, Zoya.
Oh, sorry.
I don't feel like I have anything to say at the moment.
Okay.
So, point of order, we are just discussing what to do with the book, not the entire ethical structure of this school. Granok, Zoya, anything else to add to this?
I want to make sure Lou was finished speaking because we kind of went everywhere during hers.
Lucy will kind of hold her hands up and say through the elemental link, I would defend the school. Because I wouldn't be where I am today without it. And I don't think that we should turn the books over before at least ripping the scrying off of them. If you want to give them to her after without any of the data, fine. I can figure something out with Professor Kale that won't get me killed.
Yeah, because the last thing we need is two people with targets on the back.
Would explaining to the professor the altered nature of the books and the steps that we took to remove the scrying from them count towards maybe alleviating some of that danger from you?
I think if possible we should ask for their support. Maybe copy down some of the information that's integral to the courses before we hand it over.
Well, maybe we should. He said just go over and see if he can dispel it, like give him the full gist, because I don't think the school would want to have all their dirty laundry aired out.
Yeah,
So
but
they-
regardless of the dispel, we still have to either give the book to the demon lady or not. And if we're gonna give it to her, I'd rather it be without any of the information.
Well, the problem there is she's going to know at what point it was dispelled. Or maybe she won't.
No, she'll know.
Well,
She'll know it was dispelled, but will she get any of the information off of it? It's currently stored on the book.
if the information is stored in the magic, wouldn't dispelling the magic get rid of the information? Sort of like, I excuse my blasphemy, but wouldn't it be sort of like burning a book? You know, you can't get info out of the ashes.
Oh my god.
I
I already rolled.
apologized. I said sorry.
I've already rolled Arcana, so that's kind of her invitation for anyone else to roll to
Yeah.
find
Could I
out.
roll?
Yeah, that's a
Little
good
asks.
invitation. Let's get that invitation rolled up. Does anyone wish to roll Arcana on this now that it's been?
Oh, I don't have inspiration.
Can I roll again since I rolled earlier?
Yes, I will allow it. That's fine.
Can you only roll if you're trained in it?
No. I will allow
I rolled
anyone to
another
roll on
two.
this.
Lucy's
Because-
too busy coddling her old textbook.
Understood. Anyone
Hold on,
else?
let me roll.
Why do I
let me
have
roll.
why do I have advantage on Arcana rolls?
I don't know. I haven't.
Don't ask questions
If
and
I
roll.
had it,
Ooh, I think I got this.
if I had inspiration, I could do it, but no.
So,
fucking-
Kier, with all of your...
Kier saved it.
Okay, let me talk.
Sorry.
With Kier's experience with evil books... Kier's experience with evil books. If you are able to somehow remove the magical aspects of this book, the magical writings that are currently in the book would be erased because they are not actually indelible. The book is storing data in the magic itself. If it wrote it within the book so that it was visible, that would be a different story. But it is not. And you guys, Kier, with your high Arcana check, would know this. Because when you took the book from Ashlyn DeLise, some of the names that were in the book, the souls that were retained within, were erased because you interrupted her ritual that had been taking 14 days.
Neat.
And so, the names in that book were lost because the magic itself was interrupted.
All right. So here, the way Kier would explain that is, so the best I can tell, the information that the Rakshasa would get is being stored on the magic itself, like an arcane ledger. And if we destroy that magic, it puts the ledger in the shredder. So we could have our cake and eat it too, in that regard. But
Archaic and eat it too. I'm sorry.
we are still going to
Okay.
risk the wrath of the Rakshasa if we go down that path. And just noting, I haven't expressed my opinion on this whole thing yet. I wanted to get everyone else's before I did.
Yeah, we still have mine and
Hmm.
Zoya's.
And with that knowledge, let's get yours and Zoya's, and then we'll see if anybody changes their thoughts with that knowledge in mind.
I'm gonna once again make sure Lou is actually done speaking because we got lost in the sauce during her talking again.
It's
Now you just
fine.
make me hungry. Stop talking about sauce.
It's fine, but were you done?
Yeah, it's all set.
Okay. So, I will offer the floor to Zoya if she wants to go. Or is she still thinking?
Zoya?
Oh, she said be right back.
Okay. She's
Oh, did she?
AFK.
I missed that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, she typed it.
Wait.
Cool. Okay, I'll go with my point. So, Granok will look over to Lou with a couple of questions. Is that the only book you overly want to make sure gets returned, or do you want to make sure it happens with all three of them?
Just this one. The other two are replaceable.
The next question, how replaceable is the book as a whole compared to that one specific copy? As in, would we be able to get a replacement for the professor if we do give it back to him, or is that off the table?
Replacement Necromicon? I don't know. GM, is there a replacement Necromicon?
It's Necromancy for Dummies.
Yeah, it's not the Necronomicon.
Yeah, it's not the Necronomicon.
No, but yeah, it's not.
Necrodummy.
So-
Necronom.
It is going to cost a significant amount of gold, but they are replaceable.
All right, but do you mean significant or lose significant? They're different significance.
That is fair.
Lucy,
How many barrels of
from
olive
your
oil?
perspective, okay, so here's the fun part. We've established in lore and previous sessions that Lucy has no true concept of money.
Mm-hmm.
So, from Lucy's perspective, we're just replacing the book. Rana will take care of it. Am I correct?
She's just emotionally attached to this one because she studied with it. That's
Valid.
all.
Yeah.
Okay, so from her perspective, this physical book, this copy, is important to her. Now, to the rest of you guys, 4,000 gold is a lot of money.
4,000 gold is
Yeah,
not
it
that
is.
expensive.
This is for a book.
It is for a book, but my character is like, I would spend all of my money for books. So
Right.
inserting a
not-
price
that's
within
right.
my gold range, easy.
Reckon gets it now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes,
So,
thank you for connecting the dot. I
Okay.
can now realize this.
yes, this book trophy, which is a term that I recently discovered as being a thing. A book trophy. If you're not familiar with what this is, in real life, there is this place called Audible where you can get audiobooks, and very often people get book trophies after they have enjoyed an audiobook. So, from my perspective as the GM, Lucy has found her book trophy from the books that she was studying with. As a question, Lucy, are there any doodles in the margins of this book that people should not see?
Probably mostly related to the book's contents. Not all of them.
Okay, valid. Cool.
All right, but here's the real question: how many of them were skeletons with penises?
Yes.
Why do you assume
Mother-
only skeletons?
What?
That was
Okay, I
our
got a
science
que-
project, remember? Oh, wait, you were there.
Was there any necro mummies with necro titties?
Probably.
I'm gonna have to ask.
Just-
Would
it's just
that
neat.
be an anatomy class? Not a science class.
Two things can be real. Anyways,
Necromancy?
Anatomies and science.
Learning things with Geomeric. Awesome.
so now,
Visual.
Behold,
so off in left field again. Let's wrap this back. What does Lou actually say to the question of, in theory, could we just replace the book?
Lou will pout. She says, yes, you can buy a new one, but this one is special. This one I studied with. This one is my secrets.
Gernok will give a warm smile, understanding the relationship between one and their book.
Here will give an expression so flat that you can feel the utter disdain for this opinion through the mental link in a wave.
But yeah, so he'll look back over to Kier. With that information in mind, I don't overtly mind giving him the books, but I would prefer if possibly we could ask if after she's done with doing what she needs with the books, if that is the route we decide to go, that we get the book back for our friend Lucy here to be able to return.
All right.
If not, we figure out what else we can do.
All right. And Zoya.
Now understanding that this has Lou's notes in it, or studies? Recordings of her studies in it. I don't think this is valid anymore to give back to the Rakshasa.
Kier will nod. Are there any changes in opinion to Matilda, Hecken, and Tyronius? I'm not sure we truly got your opinion so much as you conceding to an implied consensus.
Look. And he just rubs his muzzle while he thinks this over the link. I don't want to fight this. I want to be done with this city. I want to do the job we came to, and be back home for decompressing. I want to, she said she could help make my problems go away. That was vague, and I understand that being vague is not handy, but I was kind of in the moment of, oh shit. But I just
We're also
want this to
manipulated
be
by a
done.
demon.
Yeah. Look, it's me. Are you surprised? And he just gives a very dry look.
I mean, Kier returns the dry look and says, I got manipulated by a metaphorical demon. It happens.
Hey, demon buddies! Anyway,
Demon buddies.
So I would rather not fight, something from the Nine Hells, especially because, it's from the Nine Hells. I don't know if it's like, unless Granark hits it with his special Begone hammer.
I also know lots of things about them.
Right. So how do you deal with a Rakshas?
I don't know, Eric, can you send me
Well-
the page again? Because I rolled a nat 20 on them.
Yes, sir.
We'll also, again, worry about dealing with a Rakshasa once we decide if it's something we have to deal with.
Right, but that's my input. I would rather
Yeah.
not put unnecessary danger on it, because again, I just want to get in, get out, get Elf Boy, drag him by his balls to Neve, and go, here's your plaything. Go.
All right. Matilda, Hecken? Matilda, I see the hand raised.
Yeah. I doubt we're going to come to a 100% agreement regarding these books. We've got a lot of personal attachment to them. We have a lot of ethical and moral opinions regarding what needs to be done with them. So, how about a compromise? Here's my suggestion. We strip the scrying off of the books. That would protect the school, right? Because the information that's passed around inside the walls of the library or the school is for the school, correct? This is a case of academic integrity, if you want to
If I may.
couch it and define it that way. So stripping the scrying off of the books, that's just basic, smart, the right thing to do. The other thing is that specific book that Lou has is no longer of the quality that was issued to Tyronius when he brought the book into the school. The right thing to do, as a compromise, would be to retrieve the missing page, make a copy that does not have the scrying magic on it, give the copy and the 2 other replaceable books to the Rakshasa, and Lou gets to keep her sentimental book.
So, if I might,
Mhm.
there's like a million reasons to just destroy the scrying magic on it, but not least of which just to point out the less altruistic intentions of such an action. It's kind of been spying on us and our secrets ever since we've had it, and I'm the idiot who mentioned that Neve is fire guy right now, so
There
I
are
think it's
many
kind of
things we've talked
imperative.
about. There are many things we've talked about within the last multiple days that we acquired the first book.
I think one thing we can reach a consensus on, and tell me if I'm wrong, the Rakshasa cannot have the information on this book. Agreed?
Right.
Agreed.
Yes.
Agreed.
Look to the other two.
Yes.
Yeah, Lou nods.
And neither can the school.
Well, the school won't access to it. Like if we, I feel
It's
like
a
if
school full of powerful wizards.
look,
I
yes,
guess
Yeah,
that is
Matilda-
important.
Matilda points at Heckin, like, agreed. Yeah.
Yeah.
look,
We've
also-
blown Niv's cover in this book.
That is true.
Sorry, continue.
Heckin's right.
well,
Yeah, and
to be fair,
again, it's go ahead.
I was just gonna say Niv's not gonna be. Oh yeah, but no, it would actually tell. Never mind. Yeah, you're right. Destroy the book. Kill
Yeah,
it. Kill it
they'll
with fire.
destroy the scry.
Oh,
All right.
why?
So then we decide. Now that we've got that decided, I'm going to bring up the point that no matter what we do, there's going to be an incredibly likely offense to the Rakshasa. All it would take is her casting one spell to know that we have betrayed her. A little spell called Zone of Truth. Anybody heard of it? And if we resist it, that's as good as admitting our guilt.
But something that I would like to input into that. Zone of Truth is a valid thought. But we don't have to necessarily lie to her. We could tell the truth, but not the entire truth.
She'd
Lies-
be very suspicious.
Here's the thing, lies of omission are definitely the way to go. But if an answer is direct enough, they will arouse suspicion anyway. It's not a perfect solution. I'm merely expressing that no matter what we do at this point, we need to be prepared for the Rakshasa to turn on us.
Also, don't fight her in her own shop because home field advantage.
She's also got, we also know that she's got, well, actually, that's out of character information. I don't know that. Never mind.
We know that she's well.
I wrote a paper on them. We know things.
Well, no. The out of character information is I know she has access to an anti-magic field, right? But
Yeah.
that's, again, out of character. So I'm stopping that information. But the point is, I just want everyone to understand that just by deleting the scry, we are putting ourselves at threat from the Rakshasa. Do we all understand this and accept it?
Zoya nods.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm already at threat anyway, and you're
She
the same, aren't you?
She didn't specify when talking to Tyronius that the scrying needed to be intact. She just wanted the books. Isn't that how these deals work?
Exactly. Now you're thinking like, yeah, I'm not
Gonna
Hey.
reiterate.
Now you're
Sorry.
thinking with Faye.
Going to reiterate that she's not a Fae and could just decide that she hates us for doing it anyway.
So
Correct.
we put the books in a nice paper wrapped package and carefully leave them on her doorstep and disappear?
That is
I mean,
maybe
we
not
did
the worst
techni-
idea that's
we
ever heard.
technically did deliver them.
Idea.
We could
Mhm.
go ahead.
Could we enchant them with another divination magic to delay her discovery?
No. Here's the one thing we have going for us right now is plausible deniability. If her scrying is gone, it could be assumed that the College of Wizards figured out there was magic there wasn't supposed to be on this book, and they got rid of it. If the scrying is replaced by a different scry, it's been intentionally tampered with. That'll throw suspicion on us.
I mean, we could.
Granok will raise a finger for a turn at it.
Yo.
If we do dispel them, we could request that Rana has them delivered discreetly to her on our behalf.
Lou, would you be willing to endanger Rana like that?
I'd rather go myself.
Well, that's why I was saying we hire someone, line of things, but have him start it because he would know the people compared to Lou.
Cough, cough, cough.
What's up?
I mean, yes, he knows
think-
some people.
I think that we're all discounting our own skills here. Zoya could likely sneak right up to the front of that shop, drop the books off, and disappear, and nobody would know she was ever there.
I also have disguise self, if we want
Right.
to really layer it on.
Oh, I also have greater invisibility.
That's even
So-
better.
Maybe
Hold-
I have some
hold.
kind of invisibility.
I'm just gonna say that us not delivering it in person when Tyro was promised a boon.
Do we
Or did we
even
already
care
get that
about the
boon?
boon at this point? Because that
I don't
boon
care
sounds
about
like a
seeing.
trap.
Well,
No, the seeming, if I might interject, because this is about me,
yeah, go ahead.
looks at Hecken and motions with both hands, kind of like that Will Smith meme. We have seeming already. We have seeming at home, and seeming at home is better than seeming with devil. Someone can do it. I just wanted to do it because again, you said utility / magical whiz fuckery, but Hecken decided to take it upon herself to get it, and that's covered in my book, almost literally.
I just want to make sure that the seeming was what we got from her, because if she had promised
Also,
another,
lots of assistance to clear Tyro's name. She had a clear understanding. Well, she rattled off a certain amount of information about what went on between Rafaj and Tyro, and stated that she would help to the best of her ability to clear Tyro's name.
Right, and
With
that's
Rafaj and get him without having to kill Rafaj, but to find a way that Rafaj doesn't lose face and Tyro's back in good graces in the city.
yeah, I that's my own selfish thing about this.
But she's not probably someone we want to be involved in your good name. Now that we know what she's doing.
Hecken, I think we've established I have no good name.
I think it's
That's the point.
Right.
That's what
No,
we're trying to get
anywhere. I don't
If I
think I
might-
have it. I'm born from
If
a
I'm-
dead dragon.
Tyro.
no,
Here.
it's fine. I was trying to interject, right?
Oh.
But the point of my question wasn't to decide if the information was worth it. I wanted to make sure that whether or not we had received her aid, because if we return the books and then don't show interest in that aid, that in itself is suspicious.
Sus.
Right?
Yep.
Now, I think the only way to dismiss that suspicion is just go have a conversation and say, hey, we brought back your books, but decided that we didn't want your help, but we brought back your books anyway to save Tyro's liver. Which is basically what the plan is, effectively, if we bring her the books. Right? That's my concern, right? It's just the suspicion it will arouse of just dropping the books off and saying nothing. But before we get to that point, the next order of business, again, we've gotten distracted, but it's been a conversation we've needed to have. Where's the actual book go?
Follow where you guys go. But
I think it's a risk to try to pass off a forgery. I think that is beyond the letter of the deal.
It is. And if we're
If
going
we're
to try and
looking
use
for
the
a
letter
loophole.
as a defense. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, yes, what you're saying. If we're looking to have a loophole as a hopeful, maybe we don't have to kill this Rakshasa, then lose the rest of him.
I don't want to kill anybody. I don't.
Lucy's gonna take like the deepest sigh and have the sorriest kicked dog look on her face and say, if Heckin helps me copy all my notes out of the book, we can just give her the.
Now, that does bring a question for you, Lou. Who is it you wanted to return it to? I can't remember his name.
Hail.
Master Kale, Professor Kale.
2 questions. 1, would he accept a copy over the original?
Well, we'd get him a new book.
That's what I'm
We'd
saying.
probably have to
Would he
get him
accept a new
two.
book?
I mean,
And do you think he'd accept that?
He would be really mad at me, but he might.
Would he be somebody you think we could safely explain the situation to?
He and Eric, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think to Lucy he is, but she also recognizes that her measure of trustworthy and the school is vastly different than that of the rest of the party.
but we're going off
Um,
of your perception here, right?
Here
Lou,
is
it's-
asking Lou.
I think that he would be loath to let the Rakshasa get her hands on the information that's stored in that book and do everything in his power to clear it. And if I promised him books and maybe a new wing, maybe he'd be fine.
And that's what I'm saying. We explain that, hey, Rakshasa's been using this to spy. We're going to stop that from happening, but we're also trying to save our friend's liver. So, I owe you. Do you
AKA,
think he's reasonable enough to accept that?
AKA, we fucked up. We've come to we're attempting to go through the proper channels to find help. Will you help us?
Sorry about your book, Wing. Yeah, that one. Because that, if I'm being honest, is the route I would like to try, because then we could also get the plausible deniability of him dispelling the magic. He'd probably be, no offense to the magic users in my party, better at it.
Oh, absolutely.
You got his title of professor for a reason.
And again, the receptionist for the library used high-level magic, like for a mere punishment.
Right. So,
Like it
what
wasn't
are our
regular
thoughts
polymorph. Yeesh.
on this course of action? And to summarize, just to make sure everybody's clear, we talk to, I'm sorry, what's his name?
Hail.
Professor Kale?
Kale.
We talk to Kale, we explain the situation, we get him on our side and have him dispel the magic. We reimburse him in whatever way he sees fit, so long as it's not someone's liver. And then we take the book back to the horrible demon and hope nothing bad happens from there.
I mean, I could also just drop it off if we don't all want to go to the shop. But other than that, yeah.
Okay? Anybody opposed?
No, I said I'd follow
No,
you,
I
Chuckle.
like that plan the best.
I agree.
Lou, Heckin?
I still need help copying my notes out of this book.
Yes,
That
please.
do that.
Yes,
It's
please.
not a problem.
I was going to say, if you want my help, I was going to,
Right.
but heck, it
The
is
help was
very-
offered to me, and I
Yeah,
take that very
No.
seriously.
I'd
Alright.
forgotten about that mistake.
Heckin is desperate
So-
to get a look at Lou's notes.
Now that we've established that, Lou, you're completely confident in the security of your house.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be comfortable with us storing the book here until we deal with Neve's problem?
No, I have a soundproof room, sure.
Magic proof, though.
Of course you do.
We're not gonna look over. Only one.
Here has the
At
most
least one.
blank expression on his face. Will say over the bond, not what I asked, but thank you.
As a question, Lucy, is there a visual transmission of this room?
It starts,
Oh,
but then
no.
immediately stops.
Okay, understood.
Um,
So for just a instant, there's things that you guys have never seen and don't understand before it's gone.
So Zoe's gonna ask to Lou. I thought all the rooms were soundproofed. Considering
There are some that are more soundproof than the rest.
Let me reframe the question. Would this place be safe from an angry Rakshasa? I don't think she'd have a reason to come hunting the book here, but I'm just asking.
But you never know.
If she knows what's good for her, she won't come over here.
All right, we'll take
In
that.
theory, she would still believe that the books are still at the library.
So, Kier will pull out his carpenter's hammer like a gavel and then say, so, first, we take care of Neve's problem, because we did decide earlier that we wanted that to be our priority, and then we follow through with the bamboozle the Rakshasa plan.
yes.
Man, pissing off a semi-phenomenal, nearly cosmic entity of the Nine Hells. I'm up for it.
Wouldn't be our
Yeah.
first time.
Look,
Mhm.
I think the time sorry, I'll make this quick. I think all the time that you've known me, the biggest motivation for me to do something is, will it fuck with somebody's head?
Honestly,
Yeah, it's true.
I think the best part of this is that we are not getting separated across different planes of existence, for one, and two, in those different planes of existence, in completely different biomes, non-measurable distances away from each other. I'm down.
I'm detecting Feywild trauma. Noted.
And then I just heard the whispered hint from Jammer.
Well, that brings up our
Oh.
next set of questions of what do we want to do and how shall we prepare to go get our friend the Drow out of the library.
All right, yep.
Agreed.
So Kier will lightly bat the gavel, closing the previous issue, and say, first order of business, Drow, dead or alive.
Okay.
Alive.
I would prefer alive.
Wasn't the job alive?
Yeah.
For the
Maybe
most
sim-
part, dead was optional.
Well, let's aim for alive
Yeah.
if we can.
Was that Hecken?
Niv seemed to. She had a good laugh about, Dead's fine, but she did say she wanted to get information about who actually made this guy do the thing that he did. So as long as we, I'm not a religious person. I don't know what you can do with dead people. Looks at Lou. But I assume it's easier to get information out of an alive person, because you can always just make them dead if that doesn't work.
I mean,
Easier to get
to-
information out of a maimed person, but yeah.
The
I mean-
maiming's going to happen.
I have a question for Lou specifically. If you're quick enough, do you think you could, you kill someone, ask them questions, would speak with dead, bring them back, and then keep interrogating just all over again, have a cycle? It's messed up, I
That's-
know, but
Morbid.
curious minds. I'm not saying we do that, I'm just asking, sorry.
Lucy narrows her eyes a bit and she's like, it's expensive.
Lucy, you would know that you cannot cast Speak with Dead on the same target twice within 7 days.
That's how
And I also say that.
Oh, okay, there's a time limit.
But mostly
Did
it
not
costs
know
me
that.
diamonds. I don't want to spend my sparklies on that.
Loophole. if you got a bunch of different clerics to cast Speak with Dead, should you get past that limit? Because Blue's got money.
No, according to the description of the spell, sadly, it specifically states that
It's
the
corpse
corpse is-
specific.
yeah, it's
Ah,
corpse
okay.
specific cooldown,
Oh,
not
wow.
cleric specific
The
cooldown.
That makes sense.
Dang.
Sorry,
Good
had to get some.
thought. I like where your head's at.
But now we're thinking with bacon.
And we're in the weeds.
Right. Very
We are
far
in the weeds. But it was fun.
Group has
Anyway.
a railgun. I want cleric.
So,
So,
consensus of... I'm sorry, go ahead, Lou.
Oh, I mean, no, I was gonna say something else in the weeds. I was like, I can preserve it for long enough to cast it again, but that feels wasteful.
Whole noodle.
That is
preserve the
wasteful.
corpse.
Also, correct. Still in the weeds, though.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said it was in the weeds
Anyway.
thing.
back on
White
topic.
transition.
All right, so we go for alive, but if he's dead, no one cries about it. Sound good?
For the
Okay.
most part, yeah. Now, I have an idea of what I want to do for the mission, and I'm open to people shutting me down. Do you want me to go and scout the library to see if I can find him? Because last we heard, I think he was last reported to be in the library?
We
Do you
know
want
the
to?
area he's in. We need the way to get in there. We've completed our task, and they should let us in there.
So the quick refresher for you, Zoya, and just for everyone, I suppose, because notes are up. We had to complete the objective, which Lou has accomplished now, of deliver letter to gain possible access to where he has last been seen. So in theory, we know where he's at vaguely. So it's gonna mostly be get to where we need to go, then play it by ear. But a passive Zoya scout the exact location when we get there is still a thumbs up.
Okay, got it.
So once we get past the guard and into the resident halls, then yes.
I think when we spoke to the guard, Luke was chose a cover story of we wanted to have a party with someone in there. Is that right?
Oh, that means we're
Party.
smuggling in liquor. Wait! I have
Pulled
lots of
out.
that.
Pulls out lots of liquor from bag of holding.
The banana stuff.
We've got
Burglary pays off, kids.
Well, we've got your
There's like
12 bottles, I believe you said, and I've got
Oh.
a bunch more afterwards.
Yeah,
There's like-
actually.
I'm really
There's
good
like
at
fucking-
hiding things.
There's 3 frat parties worth of alcohol in the entire party.
There's 3 frat parties worth of alcohol. Oh my goodness.
It just
Okay.
popped
So-
in my head.
We could distract with a rowdy party while Zoya goes and clocks the target.
And with the
a
bond,
good
she'd
plan.
be able to share where he is.
This is a great plan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I like
The next big question on the docket is how would we get a person out without looking suspicious?
Gotta get him some hangover drink.
I have a handy spell called Vortex Warp. We could put him out of a window onto the street, and we have someone else on the street in that location to hold on to him.
But
How
Looney
that would
many?
Tunes?
require getting somebody out of the party and to the street.
Looney Tunes.
How-
We'll call it a Plan B.
Zoya, can you link the spell, please?
Vortex Warp? Yeah.
Yeah, just so
how-
we all know exactly what it does.
The
Okay.
distance is my question. I thought it was 30 feet or
It
something.
is 90. Did it link? It did not link one.
I
I
think the
missed
There we
resident
go.
halls are probably more than 90 feet away from the street.
Also, if I may, I think as a Plan A, I think Lou brought up the best option, which is just go. He's wicked hangover, bro. We're just taking him to a spot to nap it off.
And
Yeah.
Need
just
some fresh air.
unconsciousify him, and then prestidigitation clean him up a little bit from any battered bruises.
I mean, to be fair, all you'd need to do is just, Matilda maybe putting him in a headlock until
Heckin
he...
has a potion
Oh,
of
yep.
invisibility.
I like that suggestion.
Ooh.
Heckin does not have a potion of invisibility, but if someone wants to, if we could, we're in a magic city.
I thought you were saying you had one. I can't read. It's fine. We just went over that.
Oh, sorry.
How
it was
much
in,
does a
yeah,
potion of invisibility cost?
Oh, like, what, 200 gold?
I don't know. I was
Well,
going to say,
the library-
should we open it, Lucy?
I was gonna say the library is made out of stone.
Yes, most of it is made out of stone.
I mean, Lucy's got stone shape. I can make a door in the stone.
And is that going to set off any alarms or red flags?
I have no idea.
No.
I'm
No,
assuming Lou may or may not have tried in the past to sneak out with it, so she might
Plus-
know.
Shit, that's right. She would have.
Plus, that's not even the weirdest part. Sorry,
That's how
to
we
speak
speak
up.
in the Fey Boys.
Do you know how many times when I was younger I would use passway to sneak out? It just makes a full-on fucking door and corridor through a wall. I would get in trouble, not, getting kicked out of the city, cast a tap on the wall, and I'd be like, hey, there's a door, snap, it's gone. So is the asshole. It's actually one of the spells I use to run. Sorry.
After
No,
your
it's
rant now,
okay.
do you remember if they ever actually had any indication of if you quit the building, you find out?
With they what? You cut out if they what?
I blurred out saying the swear. I said,
If you fucked with the building?
Yeah.
I mean, not really, because it kind of was like... Okay, on one hand, yes, they could. But then you've got to, take into account that alarm's going to go off at any time someone accidentally casts a teleporting spell a little too close to the walls or a little too close to a desk, and it, takes a little cut out of it. There's a whole thing. It's not worth the hassle of false alarms to deal with. So I doubt there would, but, I'm an old man. My memory isn't what it used to be.
Hence why I said, you could roll history to find out if you remember.
Okay,
My advice,
Eric.
roll better than Lucy did.
Okay, hang on. Once D&D Beyond stops...
Only
being
catch is this isn't a history check. This is an insight check.
Oh, well.
Ooh.
I'm even better with that.
Still roll better
Should I
than Lucy.
re-roll?
Yes, you
still-
can re-roll, Lucy.
Yeah, I'm good at that one.
You in fact rolled the same as Lucy, you just had a bigger modifier.
Yo.
There we go.
That is
So,
in fact how I
Lucy-
got the Fey Boys in.
Lucy got better than Lucy.
So, Lucy, not only were you taught how to do this within the school, but you know that it's actually viewed as a rite of passage to be able to escape the school, and the professors actively look the other way, because if you're able to pull this off, you're doing well. This is a good
So
thing.
the Looney Tunes plan is actually optimal according to her insight.
Being able to escape the school via magical means that you're a viable mage and can be trusted to go off on your own.
Excellent. Question number 2 I have, Heckin, can you please link, the mental link or whatever, however you call it, please?
Yes.
How many people can we put into this? What is the
Party line, I think I
range?
call it.
I think that's right, yeah. How many people? What's the range that it goes?
8 creatures, 30 feet. When casting,
Yeah.
then it's
Yeah,
anywhere on the
for
same
how-
plane.
Is
Anywhere
this-
on the
For
same
now.
plane.
Is this you
Excellent.
and 8 willing creatures, or is
No.
it just 8 willing creatures total?
It's 8.
8 willing creatures total.
So,
I could exclude myself.
fun fact,
don't you do that?
us plus, a hired NPC, for instance, is 8 people. Or, Rana. We could have him outside waiting to catch our Looney Tune-esque thrown man out the building.
Building on Zoya's. How are we throwing him out the building with vortex swap? Or?
I thought you were
That
going
was
to drag his ass out.
That was the plan attached to her, was
I
for
have-
to escort him.
I have, just building on that idea, I have Dimension Door, so I could go with him
Yeah.
up to 500
Oh,
feet.
that'll work.
There we go.
Okay, but here's the question I have. Just interrupting for this. Will you be okay if he suddenly comes to or something and decides, hey, I'm gonna fuck up this bird?
I stand by. Just he ends up wherever Rana is, and Rana makes sure that Heckin is nice and safe and secure.
Right. I want it. Like, yeah, I want your safety first, Heck, and him second.
I also do have a self-teleportation, Misty Step.
Doesn't go far.
Yeah, that's
You
like
can also
30 feet.
just
That's
fly out of the hole made that we huck the guy out of, a la
With,
Rafiki style.
With my wingless halfling figure.
Tell me nobody else had that mental image when I said yeet him out, that it's just Rafiki hucking the drow out of the door.
Well, I
What-
do now.
You're welcome. Get on it, Mr. Meat Man. Anyway.
plus, Terrence is gonna look at Zoya and be like, "Look, a flying halfling is going to be the least confusing thing in that school. I'm surprised you guys haven't encountered any dinosaurs in there."
He's
I mean,
also
we
got a
kind
good
of
enough
have
stealth.
Tyro, and she just looks at Tyro.
No.
smugly.
No. It's a valid thing to all of a sudden. Yes, it's look. It was what every student did the first time they got polymorphed. Someone would turn themselves into a giant fuck off thing and run down the halls.
That sounds
You should have seen what happened when I managed to convince the entire transmutation class to turn into jackals, and we all ran down chasing after the cat.
Yep, weeds.
All right, I'm starting to stop paying attention. Can we get back on topic?
Right. Sorry.
Yes,
so
I
we
would
went
feel
grab-
safe as you asked me.
Mhm.
Then started speaking for 2 minutes, everyone.
Howdy.
I'm sure you guys can incapacitate him and also get over there pretty quickly, since you're going to make a hole in the wall, and most people can do that, can get through holes in the wall. Zoya can fly out or teleport. Zoya could vortex warp one of you out. This feels like, no offense, I feel like we have a better chance of pulling this off than pretending to be escorting a drunk person out of the entire university complex for their own
Take.
benefit.
Are you saying that people wouldn't trust us with their safety? Like holding his hand mock hurt in the chest. Sorry.
No. I can, if you want to answer first, and I had something after.
No, I was saying that with the 7 of us trying to execute a plan of deception across quite a large campus, we might maybe just the quick one action plan is a good one.
It also lines up well that if the school is all but encouraging it for us to make a magical escape means to be sneaking out after a drinking party, it just makes sense to go along with what they're expecting.
Yeah, with that piece of information, it does change the sensibility of the plans.
I do have one question, and this is for Eric.
Yes.
Is there any festivals or something, or any holidays that would be like we could use to our advantage to encourage a rowdy party?
Yeah, in about 4 weeks.
Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to know the time frame. So, damn.
All right. So, Kier, what's the path forward here?
I think we're all on the make it look like a student escape escapade plan.
Cool.
Yeah. Like I said, the note that students trying to escape is normal did kind of change everything.
Yeah, no, that
Wait,
inside
if
row was
this
clutch.
comes with plausible deniability. All right, so the plan as it stands: hide the book here, beat up the drow, bring him to Neve, address the book problem. I think we've got a solid plan, and I trust that if for some reason it feels like a week passes between now and when we start that plan, Greenock has taken good notes.
For the most part, I will.
Excellent.
I didn't take a lot of notes at the beginning when we were, talking about what needed to be talked about.
It's
But,
okay. As long
I've
as somebody
got a-
bullet points the plans, and I can do
I
that.
got a sticky.
in,
I got a sticky note with bullet points that I will transcribe into notes later, so we're good.
Lovely. All right. I think, and Kira will look at everyone gathered. I think, gosh, for the first time in a while, we have a cohesive plan.
Oh.
Hey, G. America, what time of day is it?
At this point, about 6 p.m. dinner time, and you are all
Excellent.
hungry.
Food does sound good, but do we lose our opportunity to mug somebody by doing that?
Probably.
You could always mug
Probably.
the pizza guy.
No,
No,
I would never do that.
Mug the pizza guy.
Well, is it possible for us to get like street food on the way there?
Oh, Magical City street food. All in favor?
Raise hand.
Raise his hand.
One way or another, I think we should enjoy a night out, but I think we should put our plan into motion tomorrow after just enjoying a night of well-earned discoveries and camaraderie for each other.
By the way, I'm not sure if this rumor is true, but I think I heard at one point that the Shatter Shaddai delivery service arrives before the guards do.
Damn.
Can you confirm or deny, Lou?
Lou, can you confirm or deny that the food delivery services arrive before the guards do? Did we lose Lucy?
Does she have her head set up?
Yes, I do have.
I got you, homie.
Okay. So, do you confirm that the delivery gets here before the guards do? I heard her for a moment.
Damn it, Lou.
I think
Come
so.
back to us.
Okay.
Think so. Okay.
That's probably where you heard the rumor was from Lucy.
All right.
It's because the delivery service gets to my house before the guards do.
Ah, okay. Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
All right. So,
Is that
I'm
good?
going to
Yeah.
go ahead and hand wave the copying of the notes from Heckin and Lucy. We don't need to spend all that time doing so, but on a scale of 1 to nah, how spicy are the notes, Lucy, that you show Heckin?
Heckin needs an adult, I think, after. Or
Heckin?
no, Heckin has plenty of
Heckin is
material
fine.
to lose in her future novels.
Understood. So,
Concentration.
Heckin, you are at the level of you have a lot of material for future novels.
Awesome.
Okay. Awesome.
Lou, on a scale of 1 to 4chan,
No,
how bad was
down
it?
boy. We're
Well,
not
scale
going
of-
there. No. All right. So, you guys want to go out on the town?
I thought we were getting delivery.
It's
Yeah,
DiGiorno.
DiGiorno?
DiGiorno.
Yeah.
Ah,
Right.
that's my joke. I've been bamboozled.
All right.
Yeah, you
Cool.
hurt Eric, dude. Do you
So-
feel good about yourself?
You guys can have food delivered, and you guys can have a wonderful evening of relaxation here with your new spearhead. And like most Asian spearheads, this one has a red bandana.
Oh my god.
Wait, does he? Because
Bandana
I
is
thought he
still
got
kind
rid
of
of
a
that.
problem. No, I hide it during notable points in time.
I don't believe in the color red.
Wait, Brox is like, there's a bandana?
All right.
just looking at Granok's crossed arm image. I don't believe in the color red.
That
Okay,
needs to be on a bumper sticker.
moving forward. Is there anything else you guys would like to do tonight?
Also, I do want to point out. I probably should have mentioned this, but a lot of other things. If we want to knock the guy out, I have a 9th level sleep spell. I
Did you
just
even cast it.
I remember when we were there was a trap where we had where I got a scroll of sleep because Kia handed it to me, and I'm trying to find it in the damn inventory. Who was it? Yeah, scroll of remove curse, a scroll of identify, and then there was these. Oh, I even have a dimension door scroll. But yes, we did have the scroll of. It was a 9th level, right, Eric?
Yes, it was a 9th level sleep scroll.
Yes. No. So. Yeah, that's
Okay.
Yeah, no, we still have that. So if we want to knock the guy out, that's like how many?
Are you guys going to do that tonight, or are you guys going to spend the evening in?
Oh, evening in.
Okay.
Is everybody in line with that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Evening in sounds good.
Cool.
And then
Alright.
Zora's gonna just have her cloak around her
Understood.
and snuggling up with Granok.
Cool. All right. So, did anyone break out a board game tonight?
Lucy has Twister.
Lucy
No.
breaks out
Play. I
Twister.
will play
Oh, wait,
immediately. I want to
wait.
play.
Oh wait, ooh. Zoya
I'm
looks
gonna
at it.
bow out.
All right.
Zoya looks at it and will join.
Oh, I'm
Wow.
gonna have to try so hard not to smash you.
I
No.
Phrasing.
have 6 limbs. Okay. Hey Lou, how are we supposed to handle wings on this?
The very best you can.
This is why.
Just do your best.
Are
This
they
is D&D
like,
Twister. It must have
are they like
Oh
a
yeah,
free
tails,
limb?
wings.
There's appendage as the fifth
Okay.
object.
Okay.
So,
Oh.
okay.
Raising.
Because we are playing Twister, anyone who wishes to play Twister needs to roll 1d100 and the highest roll wins.
Can we use
Now
inspiration
do it
on
then.
this or no?
I will allow you to use inspiration on
75.
this. Yes.
I'm not going to.
I'm gonna
Good enough.
Use inspiration on this.
Okay.
I was waiting for Granada
Zoya's
to come
gonna
in
use
with the
it?
haymaker.
What was that?
Yes.
I said I was waiting for you to come in with the haymaker, but not quite.
Zoe's using inspiration.
Oh, she's so tiny she can fit in between everyone else.
She just sneaks in. She
And
sleight of
she's got
hands the
wings.
spinner.
Okay, I want to roll a
Alright,
sleight of
just-
hand check.
Okay,
just
do
Hold
it.
for
on,
fun.
hold on. Is Heckin in on this?
No, she's taking
Oh.
notes on this.
19. That's not my
She's
that's my best, but alright.
notes.
This is
Sorry,
a
this
core
is obviously
scene in
the first
Enemies
one
to
out.
Lovers.
Yep. Awesome. Cool. So, and Zoya wins the game of Twister tonight.
Yay!
You guys have had a good time. You hashed out a bunch of things. And you have something that you've not had in a ton of episodes. A plan.
I try.
Those are
I
things.
try so hard to have plans, and then they waddle away.
Well.
All right. So,
Oh my god.
you guys ready to take a long rest after the rambunctious game of Twister?
Yes.
By the
Absolutely.
way, I don't think this is fan service from Zoya Heckin since she's fully covered by her feather.
I mean,
No,
so's
I mean-
Heckin.
Depends on who you ask. Also, I have a question for Lou.
For the record, I'm not
regarding
changing
Twister.
anything based off your plan. The stuff's already set, and it's more trouble to rebuild it than it's worth.
No worries. Like, we understand. But yeah, question for Lou out of character. How handsy did you get during Twister?
That's
Yes.
a valid question.
If you
No,
felt
so-
that soft brush up against you, it was 100% Lou.
If
I
had
also
a
feel
nickel
like
for
I
every
was,
time I ended up in a compromising position with Lou.
My
Listen, like-
original plan.
Good.
My original plan was I was going to say I wanted to roll to do my hour of trying to work with my jewel crafting thing, but I feel like as soon as I attempted to do that, I got dragged in there by Lou.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
But can I find the hour to attempt to do that tonight?
Lou, can he find an hour to not be bothered?
Dun dun dun.
I'll allow it.
All right. Granak, you are able to find.
because
Go ahead.
she'll allow it because she wants a sparkly.
Right. Granak,
Right, so
your efforts are being encouraged by greed.
The best.
when am I?
Encouraged.
So we have that other book, right? So it's what are my two choices for rolling for jewel crafting?
Sleight of hand.
No, there's no second one.
Mm-mm.
Weak. I thought it had like two different rolls you could do for most of them now.
Not for jewel crafting.
That is weak. Where's the...
Yes, sir.
Hang on, if you want, I'll give you inspiration.
I'm just gonna give jewel crafting and go to another one after re-looking at the book. I was sure there was an intelligence-based roll I could do on there for some reason.
I will double check
Granac's-
it, but I believe it's just. I will double check it because. But I'm 99% sure.
You didn't pin the book for us, so I can't find it very easy in the
I
Discord.
think I might have it downloaded. One moment.
I'm pulling it up on my end here.
Yeah.
Jewel crafting, you said, right?
Yeah.
Jewel crafting. Here we go. All right.
So many decades ago.
This would be.
Thousands of years ago.
Before the tacos were assassinated.
Jewel craft. Jeweler's tools is dexterity only.
Here we go.
Yeah. Yep. Sorry, man.
Granak was not fit to handle granite.
Yep.
I don't want to have to pay for the book. I just wanted to open the thing. God damn it.
All right, cool. So, unfortunately, you did not get any progress on that, Granak. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna re-look at the book when it's telling me I don't have to pay for it and try to figure out what I want to do
Yes, sir.
later.
Mm-hmm. All good. All right, guys. Well, as you guys bed down for the night, you guys can go ahead and take a long rest. And we'll come back next week on the Friday Night Lights and enact the plan.
The plan.
Dun,
I
dun,
realize
dun.
that Heckin's probably going to be out next week, but if we can have an idea of things that you would be doing, Heckin, that would be helpful.
If you'd be okay with someone else controlling me when necessary for mechanical plan stuff, that'd be cool.
That's fine.
Oh, that'd be Eric.
No,
Hands down.
we will
No,
hand
another player if they don't mind.
We're going to Jaeger you with one of the other player characters. We'll probably give you to Granak or Kier so that you can have competent people doing your character. All right.
Are you saying the entirety of our party is not competent?
I know. I'm saying that you two know optimization better than others. Otherwise, guys, have a wonderful night. Please stay safe. We will be back on Sunday because we do not have session tomorrow for the Us Against Gods because I'm going to Matilda's graduation for her master's degree.
Yeah.
It's finally happening.
Congratulations.
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 Rats.
So,
Yep.
So,
So,
did she gain a
but-
level in monk?
If anybody needs a marketing professional,
I might.
all right,
shameless
guys.
plug.
Shameless plug, guys.
I have,
Plug
I, have,
is
I
the-
have a master's degree.
I'm gonna need to sell my soul.
All right, guys.
You have one of them?
Have a wonderful
I don't-
night. You guys stay safe. Thank you so much for choosing me to be your GM, guys. There's tons of great ones out there. I'm always thankful you choose me to be yours. Do check out the Patreon. Check out the Discord. We've got some cool announcements coming up that I announced on Patreon earlier today. and we're going to be putting those up on Discord tomorrow.